stressed. Shut the up.
That's fine. Be stressed.
Stupid.
I can see why you're single, eh? Really can. Jesus Christ.
I will faint. Get me off the boat.
Welcome to Little Black Book. You already know what time it is. We are back. And I want to say like, share, subscribe. You already know all that good stuff. You already know what time it is. Listen. Oh my gosh. You're mad, you're lean. We are reviewing Married at First Sight, but the Australian version. Now, boom. I ain't really want to do it. You know why? Because I watched last season. And when I watched last season, let me tell you something. There was so much drama. I struggled, fam. I was like, yo, blood, have they paid these guys? Or is it serious? Because them thing there in Australia, fam, it's as if they don't take marriage for serious. Yeah? So let me just point this out first of all. The difference between the American one and the Australian one is this. If you thought the American one was bad for the people they chose, let me tell you this now. Number one, the people they chose in Australia must be for bants. Number two, I don't think the judges know. I don't think that the experts are actually experts. Yeah, I don't think they are. Number three, like, fam, there's just too much drama.
Ines can come across as being guarded and abrasive, but it's a mask she wears to cover the pain of a troubled upbringing.
Ines wants love, but she wants someone who won't be scared of before they can see the real Ines. Someone with an easygoing nature who can laugh at her brutal honesty would be a great match.
Too much drama. So, we're going to review a particular video that I watched. Might have been a week old or something, but I want to talk about it because there's other things I want to talk about within that. Chas, man. We're going to talk to you about Ines and Bronson. Now, I watched a video on them going on the boat and then obviously it turning a bit sour. Sour is probably an understatement. So, let me just point this out. The very first thing that I noticed straight away is that when they were coming, I haven't watched this episode season yet, so I'm going from literally this midway point. When I see them coming out of the wherever they were coming from, okay, through the double doors, instantly I wasn't happy.
So Ines isn't happy when she learns Bronson's planned a day out parasailing.
So you excited about today?
Excited about what?
What we could be doing?
No, I'm not excited at all.
One, the dialogue let me know that they were at odds because he asked her, look, hey, you know, you looking forward to paragliding? She said no. And she put it quite bluntly, no, I'm not happy. And at first I was like, fam. And the commentator said as well, she says she doesn't like those kind of things there. But Bronson's like, you know, this kind of person that's chasing the thrill. And I'm like, Bronson, if you knew that she doesn't like this kind of thing, she really doesn't like this thing, why did you choose it? Like, you're just asking for trouble, you get me? So at first, I was against Bronson because I felt like he just did something which is just unnecessary. Yeah, choose a different, I've always said as well, make sure you choose an activity where both of you are going to benefit, or if one of you is going to benefit, the other person must be willing to participate. Now, it looks like she was willing to participate because she came out and she came and sat in the boat. But from the moment she even started, she was moaning. Do you know what I'm saying? Cool. Second part I noticed. When they sat in the boat, immediately they sat on opposite sides.
I've been parasailing before and you know, like I handled it.
Okay, and it's funny because obviously Bronson actually said later on that, you know what, you know, the day before they were really good, on fire, looking nice and sweet. Then obviously today he's got bipolar freaking what do you call it, Ines. And I say that with lightness. I don't mean taking any offense towards bipolar people, just in terms of the swift change in behavior. They already showed the fact that they weren't unified. Do you get what I'm saying? One thing that obviously as well I noticed about Ines as well is that, you know what, Ines, you know, like for better man, I hadn't watched any videos, so I watched some videos after, but I'm going off what I actually originally saw. And what I saw from Ines was obviously she did this cough as well, which I feel like is so fake, because she's trying to play this dramatic role. And for me at first when I was watching, I was like, have they paid this girl to be in this role? Because the way she's acting, unless she's a complete narcissistic unself-aware person who's just rude, I don't see how she would have played out this scene the way she did. That cough already when she was so fake. It's like, fam, what the frick? Who coughs like that?
Accordingly, getting this tricky balance.
Like, do you know what I mean? And you're saying that you're stressed. So what's the that pretty cough? Fam, when you say things straight, you're brutal about certain things, and your cough is delicate. I don't believe it. Do you know what I'm saying? So really, that put me at odd and seeing those things. Bronson also as well said something which I felt like was just stupid. It's just not, fam. You gotta read this. You gotta read the situation. My girl was saying that she's not comfortable in this whole situation, and then Bronson goes to make a joke, or ask a question, joking obviously.
Any deaths due to parasailing? No.
Are you serious? What sort of dumb ass question is that?
I think it's a pretty fun question.
Jesus, help me.
Like, bro, like, I know you want to be funny and cute and smooth, but that's not the time. Time and season for everything underneath the sun. Do you get me? Cool. So it was like I said, I'm putting a nice little summary on there before I go in detail what actually happened. So yeah, at first at that point I was still not feeling Bronson. I was like, Bronson, you're a douche right now, and you're being a total bloke about things and not reading the situation at hand and not taking a stock what's happening in the situation, not knowing how you actually need to act in this scenario. Like, you should have got it right, but you haven't. My girl Ines was saying, obviously, she was stressed on the situation. Obviously, she doesn't like paragliding, doesn't like boats. You know, she just feels stressed, yeah? And so my thing is this, okay? No matter how stressed anybody is, yeah, on a situation like that, there is no grounds for someone saying to you, shut the fuck up. There is literally no grounds for you to say that.
Really distressed. And then he just kept going and going.
Any crocs in the water?
Yes. Always a chance.
That, to say to somebody, is a term of emotional and verbal abuse to somebody. And when I say that, I don't say that lightly. I say that in the sense of, you are to respect your partner like a mirror. And you've gone into a process of married at first sight to be husband and wife. And you use such profane, defamating language. I don't even know if defamating is a word. Okay? But you use such vulgar language towards a person after little or no real provocation. So there wasn't much provocation to actually enlist the kind of verbalage that she unleashed from her tongue.
Distress.
Just breathe deep and I'll
Shut the up.
Yeah, and for me, I always, you know my channel, if you're new to this channel and probably watch from Australia, maybe, hey guys, my whole channel is all about finding out the why. Now, then I went to watch later on the why they put them together. And the expert said, obviously, you know, this is a girl who's had a tough upbringing, had to do it all herself, basically. She's also a paralegal or something like that, or legal assistant or whatever. So that's a tough business to be in as well.
Ines can come across as being guarded and abrasive, but it's a mask she wears to cover the pain of a troubled upbringing.
And then obviously he says, you know, she's masking up her pain, and you know, her caginess, her bluntness is all to mask up her pain. That's freaking lovely. But that doesn't mean you put that person with somebody who's of a softer nature, who could potentially get killed by somebody who doesn't care about what they say. Yeah, and so what you see is that the experts are trying to back up their reasoning and their decision making for putting Ines and Bronson together. That Bronson will end up being a Superman for Ines, but Bronson isn't a Superman. He's a Clark Kent, like every other man. You understand? And Clark Kent trying to save Lois Lane doesn't work. Lois Lane wants who? Superman.
I think Bronson's light-hearted nature will help Ines lower her walls. In fact, I think his optimistic outlook would likely start rubbing off on Ines, bringing lots of laughter and adventure to their relationship. So we all agree?
Do you understand? And so Bronson isn't Superman. He's Clark Kent. And so whilst Clark Kent wants Lois Lane wants Superman, what happens? Clark Kent loses out. So deep the situation here. They've put such a nice guy with somebody who, like Ines, who does not hold her tongue and does not care for him. Do you know what I'm saying? Evidently, you know, this is like the mirroring of the Luke and Kate situation, but this one is far more facetious, and actually I found it quite just annoying. And here's why I found it annoying. Because later on, she goes on to verbally, I again use the word abuse Bronson, okay? And I want to watch body language. Body language is very, very important. In the beginning, when Bronson gets on this boat,
will be key to a successful honeymoon. And
he's got the open body language. He's got his body like this. He's sitting like this. He's like, yeah, he's energetic. His face is full of life. He's just catching jokes. She tells him to shut the fuck up the first time, and you know, he takes it, but his face is showing that he's a little bit just a little bit uncomforted by what she said, but he's still open body language.
If I'm in the wrong and I've done something wrong and I've deserved to get told to shut up, yeah, absolutely. But trying to talk to someone and getting shut down, no, I don't think anyone deserves that.
Then the body switches like this. He's like this now. He's trying to stay cool. This is him. I think when he puts his hand here, I feel like this is when he's starting to actually deep the situation and think about things. So he's doing this. And then when obviously she says, you know, she goes on a little tirade. I think she goes on a tirade before.
Don't want to do it by yourself?
Yeah, okay. So she goes on a tirade. He tells her obviously as well, you know what? Like, and when he does tell her, it's interesting because the body language changes. He leans in. I hope he's not gonna focus, but I don't want to do that. So he leans in. Body's like this. He leans in.
I'm just so overwhelmed. You go for it. I need a break.
And says to her, you're really not a nice person. You're a horrible person. And it's quite interesting because someone else may have got angry and told her to shut the fuck up too. And said, listen, don't ever talk to me like that. You're dumb. Don't be a foolish girl. That would have been my response. You understand? But someone like Bronson, who's a softer nature kind of person, who's probably more emotional. But that's why he, as well, said in, I believe he said also, he's looking for somebody with a personality.
The looks don't bother me at all. Short, tall, brown hair, blue eyes, green. I don't care. It's the personality I care for.
That's what he's looking for. Not necessarily interested in looks, but he's looking for a personality. Why they put him with Ines, I have no clue then. But he's looking for a personality. So he's somebody obviously who sees things on a deeper level, emotional connection. And so we see that because when she tells him to shut the fuck up, yeah, the first time, he then goes, I don't want to say hissy fit, that sounds negative. He then goes into solemnness, he goes into quietness and just chills, yeah? And then he actually turns his body to the side and he's not happy. He's not happy. And then when he obviously is trying to explain to her, when she says to him, look, you know, when I get stressed and da-da-da, you know, he turns and says, listen, fine, but you know what, I don't respect.
Longer. There's a lot of erratic energy in your voice. It's adding to my...
Oh, no, of course, because when someone tells me to shut the f*** up, I take that to absolute heart. I come from a place where...
This is where I knew that he's such a nice guy. And this is why I say be very careful. People who are broken, you have to be very careful how you deal with them. And here's the thing, people who are broken, yeah, you cannot fix them. They need to go to... When I say you can't fix them, in the sense of your relationship doesn't fix them. Your relationship doesn't heal them. You have been in a relationship with them does not mend the wounds, does not cover up the wounds, you know what I'm saying? It only exasperates the wound to get bigger and to get more painful. And therefore there's a greater reaction. And that's what we see from Ines. She's a person who's broken, she's hurt. Like, and whether she's reacting out of fear of being loved by this guy, or whether she's reacting to the fact that she just doesn't like this guy, and so in order to make sure he knows that, she spills out this negative energy. And it's interesting as well because in the expert section, they were saying she said even, you know what, that she grew up as a young kid, you know, in Australia from the age of 4, and obviously she's had to fend for herself. That makes you build up this caginess. That makes you build up this strength in you, or this kind of solo mentality. But guess what? Love don't work like that. Guess what? That doesn't give you an excuse to be rude to people. Guess what? That doesn't mean that you can, you're entitled to the way you behave. No. I understand that you grew up in a bad position, but that doesn't allow you to talk to people the way you talk to people. Do you get what I'm saying? But that would be a contributing factor as to why she is the way she is with this guy. And also, there's also another thing where people assume when you see somebody who's of a certain size, you know what I mean, they automatically think, yeah, that you can talk to them anyway because they can take it. And I'll prove that. She says that later on. She says, what, are you scared of a little F off? Are you scared of a little F you? Are you scared of a little swear word?
You don't talk to them, or you know, you walk
You're
away.
scared of a swear word.
No, I just don't like being told to off, or to shut the up, or any of those sort of rude words. Just be a nice person. You know, when I asked the experts what I wanted, I said a nice person.
Grow some balls, she even says. And these are the kind of things where it emasculates men. These are the kind of things where women, some women, not all women, some women have a great problem and will find it difficult to be in a relationship because they want punching bags. Why? Because they're hurt, and hurt people hurt people. And I want to say this as well. I'm a person who's a Christian, so I'm gonna quote scripture. Jesus said, yeah, that he spoke to the fig tree, and to the fig tree he said, listen, you shall not bear no fruit anymore. And when the disciples came back with Jesus back to the tree, and a couple of days later on, the tree had withered away and died. Now guess what? The power of words, either to bring life or to bring death to a situation. Now the words of Ines definitely brought death and nothing but life. Definitely brought death and no life. You know, she then, you know, when he said obviously, like, I can't even what even triggered her to even go on a tirade. But she said obviously, what did she say? Oh, she said basically, stop talking. And then she just said, stop talking.
Horrible person.
Horrible person.
Get me off the boat. Get me off the boat. Yeah, I don't give a get me off the boat. Shut the up. When I say don't speak, shut the up. I'm stressed. Shut the up.
Okay. Now, one thing I want to point out is this: if this was the other way around, would this really have been sensible? I mean, if this was shown the other way around, would this have been a talking point? If this was shown the other way around, would the experts have said something to, you know, to my gal? Would they have said something to her? Maybe not. Why? Because we're in a generation, we've gone through history knowing that women can get away with certain things that men can't. So a woman shouting like that at him, I think it's verbal abuse the way she said it. But it wouldn't be classed as that because obviously he's a man. And it's not like he's small, it's a henchman. Come on, you can take it, you're a big man. And it's like, yo, B, I've got emotions, I've got feelings, I've got a soul. So what are you trying to say? So, in this particular relationship as well, they don't have ample time to be able to actually have that exposure effect. Because, you know, when you're in a work environment, you're exposed to people on a constant basis. You know, you get to spend time with them, you get to observe them. But on MAFS, or Married at First Sight, they throw people straight in. And so therefore, people actually do the reverse. I can't remember what it's called, interpolar or something like that, where it's the reverse. It's like you grow to hate more of their characteristics as you spend time with them. Like it's the opposite of exposure effects. You know what I'm saying? So you have to deeper as well in this situation. They are thrown underneath pressure, and so therefore that you're going to see a much greater reaction from each individual person. For me, Bronson and you know what? It's just a case of like you should never ever accept verbal abuse in a relationship. I think Will Smith even talked about it. He said, look, he never wanted to see that in a relationship. And I think everybody should set that precedent where you do not want to have that in a relationship. You want to make sure you set that bar. We should never get to that stage where we're ever saying those kind of words to each other. There should be restraint there, regardless of how we feel. Because those words have power, and I always say the word is like poison. Words can stay in the system for a very long time and work its way through the batch or work its way through you to actually cock block you or to block your destiny, to block your progress. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be very careful what words we use on one another. So if in a relationship, make sure you choose the right words. Choose words of love. Choose words of life. You get me? So listen, guys. Little black bug, you know what time it is. Yes. Appreciate you. Listen, there's more reviews coming, so bless. Alright. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, baby.